Everybody, it's Alvin Brown, CEO and founder of the Center for Healing and Peak Performance, and I'm an integrated peak performance consultant and advisor. I give you tips and strategies you can use to help take your game to that next level so you can reach peak performance and optimal health no matter where you are on your journey. I'm also the author of Journey to Personal Greatness, Mind, Body, and Soul, a blueprint for life balance and self-mastery, available at all your major bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon, and in Canada, Chapters Indigo Online. All right, so I'll go through this little spiel at the beginning. If it's your first time with me, let me introduce you to what we do and how we flow. I give you 3 videos a week. Monday Mindset, a little checkup from the neck up to make sure your game is running tight on a mental, emotional level. Wednesday, Hump Day Hustle. It's all about body, structure, function, nutrition, how to get this tempo running right. Because I believe if you want to drive hard and if you want to get to your goal, you can't get there with a broken body. It just affects the mind. Your physiology and your psychology are linked. So let's get the physiology running right. Saturday, Soulful Saturday. It's all about nourishing the soul, feeling abundant, like you deserve all the best that life has to offer. And it's also remaining authentic while you're running up that mountain, because you don't want to climb up that wall of success and that ladder to get to the top to find out your ladder was against the wrong wall. You want to be authentic, remember your values, remember who you are. So that's how we flow. That's how the whole thing goes, mind, body, and soul. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. All right. So this is Hump Day Hustle. This is the part of the week again we focus on the structure and the function. Today I was with a client and I wanted to share some great information with you. A little reminder for some of you and great information for others. And this is where I'm coming from. I'm going to take you back to my treatment room where I'm going to show you a treatment with one of my clients. He's a bodybuilding client of mine. I treat a lot of that population, fitness, bodybuilders, and peak performers. And so we were going through the session and he was being treated for a pain in his elbow, on the inside of his elbow, typically where they'd call it tennis elbow or the golfer's elbow on the inside. And so when we were working, we started going over this idea that I'm going to call this one thinking out of the box. Because a lot of times when people have a pain in a certain area, they treat the pain area and they don't go beyond that. And I want you to think out of the box. I want you to always challenge yourself to go, yes, think about pain like an indicator light on your car. When the light goes on in your car, it says check engine. You don't know what that means. You don't know what it is or where that problem is coming from. It just knows you should get in somewhere and they're going to put it on the scope and check the engine and see where this problem is coming from. Pain is the same way. When you feel pain, it's a check engine light. It's telling you something's wrong. Don't ignore it. Get in and get it checked. Now, when you go in, what you want someone to do is to, again, think out of the box. See, here's the thing about anatomy and our paradigms that we've been taught. When you travel to another country, Italy, America, Canada, wherever, as soon as you get into that country, and this even happens in your own city, when you go from city to city or town to town, you change your mentality. Oh, I'm in this town, so then I act differently, or the people in this town must be like this, or the people in this neighborhood must be like that. We've been taught so much to categorize and separate and put things in boxes that it happens everywhere, and we start thinking globally, and we become myopic in our thinking, and that limits us in so many ways. So when it comes to the human body, it's the same thing. In the video, you'll see me explaining that. I explain that a lot of times what happens is because we learn anatomy and we learn where insertions and origins go, we become myopic and we think that your pain is in your bicep, for instance, but it doesn't have to be in your bicep. It could be coming from your neck, it could be coming from your pec, it could be coming from anywhere where that attachment, that fascia, when it comes to the human body, it's not as clean as an anatomy book. It's just one blended fascia, one blended tissue to the next. And that's my point here is I want to drive this home to reach peak performance and to reach your optimal health, which is what we're talking about. When you go in to take care of your body, I want you to encourage your therapist, or if you can find a therapist who can really just think out of the box, and maybe they do already, that's awesome, but think out of the box and go beyond the pain. And that's my main point with this whole video. And so I'm going to take you over to the video and just watch the treatment session and the little piece that I thank my client Vince for letting us get into the treatment with him and share the treatment with him with his time with me. All right, so check out the video and we'll talk again. All right, so awesome. Here we are in the treatment room. Working with my man Vince. Vince is a national level competitor in bodybuilding, and he came in for his forearm. There's a little bit of the common flexor area here on his forearm, you know, where the golfer's elbow. And it's been a chronic problem from when he's lifting. So what I want to address, what I want to talk to you about in this video is this idea that he and I were talking. I thought I got to capture this on, we always share ideas in this room here. So I want to share with you the idea that when you're looking for your pain, I want you to think beyond the symptoms and beyond just locally getting it treated. I want you to think about and go to a therapist who thinks in this way, thinks of not so much anatomy, attachments, insertions and attachments and where it goes. And I want you to go to a therapist or advise your therapist to think about where it attaches and where it continues. Because in the body, in the human body, there really is no beginning and end. Because when you think about sperm, egg, and the body being formed, everything gets morphed and everything gets transferred from each other, and embryologically they have their own design. So they become the heart, this becomes the arm, this becomes the neck and the head, the diaphragm, but in actuality it's just one continuous soft tissue with different calcium salts in it to make it a little harder, because the same tendon is the same as the fascia, is the same as the ligaments. They're all the same, but they have different functions, and depending on what makes it becomes adapted to that function. So for instance, your ligaments attach bone to bone, your tendon attaches muscle to bone, but they're all the same at the end of the day. They're just different levels of consistency, so they get a different name. But my point is, they're all continuous, one continuous lump basically. So think about this forearm, this flexor tendon that he has this issue with. If you check it out, if you just treat this, then you can do some frictions, you can do some deep tissue work on here, your therapist. But what I want you to think about is going beyond that and working with your therapist to develop the idea of going up into, for instance, this forearm here.
You forget, I came in with a pain up here on this side.
Yeah. So it's pain. This is like today, what you complain about here, but we've been treating in the past the pain up into the brachioradialis, the coracobrachialis up in here, and the brachialis muscle up in here. These are all terms that will give you a little download on the page, but you can see then his problem ends up being here. This is where the localized pain is, but in actuality, it continues up into the coracobrachialis up here where it attaches. So all these different muscles that I'm throwing around basically are just telling you that we name anatomy to learn them, but don't stop there. Keep it going. So when you're getting treated, what I want you to think about is continuation. Don't think about stopping here where the pain is or anywhere in your body. I want you to think about how things attach and where they go and this whole idea. So with Vince, what we do is we're going to take his wrist back so we can get a stretch on the forearm muscle, and we're going to drive that tissue and stretch that tissue, follow it all the way up in past his elbow and up into the bicep, just below the bicep on the inside, and we're going to travel all the way up into his armpit and up and through to the shoulder blade on the front side. And that's how we're going to help release this, because the pain is here, but that's not where we stop. And I was also telling Vince about many times wrist problems, carpal tunnel, and if you're a person who works out, gripping, your grip will become weak when you have too much tightness in this area. So again, I want you to think out of the box. I want you to think continuation, never stop at it's only here, or if my shoulder's bothering me, it's only my shoulder. It could be so many areas spreading around, and that's something for you. You're not a therapist possibly, but I want you to think about that and then work with therapists who think that way, and advise your therapist if you have one, just to nudge them. You know, you're not trying to control the treatment, but you're trying to nudge them into, could it be this, and just remind them about that. So that's my tip. Until next time, we'll talk. Peace. All right, so that was the session I had with Vince. So I hope that got through to you that when something's going on, think out of the box. I want to challenge you to, I'm always going to challenge you in both mind, body, and soul to think out of the box. Just become, like Bruce Lee said, like water. Adapt and change your paradigm. I have an I am statement that I say to myself, and one of my I am statements is, I'm a paradigm shifter. That means whatever the masses are thinking, I want to think a little differently and get out of the box. So, all right. So I hope that helps. And we're going to come at you with some more. Let me know what kind of treatment base you want to. I spend most of my time, 20 plus years, studying the body in depth. So I'm never sure what to give you and how much information to give you. So let me know I can serve you in that way. And the mind, body, I'm giving it to you all. So again, it's all about peak performance, getting you to that finish line fully intact. All right? So until next time, check out our website, journeytopersonalgreatness.com, the Center for Healing and Peak Performance.com. If we can help, we're here. My team and I, we train in depth. Why try to figure out yourself when you have people who have dedicated their life to helping you find your way to peak performance, all right? So, think out of the box, because I want you to be relentless about your pursuit for what brings you joy, and we call it personal greatness. Share this video. Let's build a community, as I'm always saying, let's build a community of people who think the same way, who believe the same thing, and let's drive and help each other to get to peak performance levels, all right? So until next time, again, peace and love.